Attorney stunned by new criminal charge against Jon Jones. Police are targeting retired UFC champion. You guys know Jon Jones has had a long history. He just retired recently. And hopefully, I don't know if he's on probation. I don't know what he has going on. But if these new charges stick, he might end up doing some time. So let's get into it. Jon Jones' attorney is not happy with Albuquerque police. Went as far as charging the now retired UFC champion for leaving the scene of an accident that happened back in February. Now, there might be legs to this because you guys remember he had that whole situation with the USADA thing where a woman, a Karen, was like complaining about Jon Jones and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, that whole thing ended up falling apart and there was no legs behind it. But this story here apparently is a juicy story. So let's continue. Christopher Dodd also represented Jones during a separate criminal investigation after he was accused of assaulting a drug testing agent, issued a statement to media vehemently denying the latest charge against his client. Jones was hit with a misdemeanor for leaving a scene of an accident after a woman involved in a car crash who police say exhibited signs of significant intoxication and lacking clothing from the waist down, claimed he was driving her vehicle during the crash and fled on foot. So for all you dudes out there, all you nerds in the fight game who are talking about Jon Jones is suspect and Jon Jones is gay and this and that, that's all squashed. I don't want to hear no Jon Jones is gay. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Jon Jones, how did his career start? He was out there rolling around in the Bentley. He had 2 chicks in the car and he crashed the car, right? Jon Jones has multiple kids. Jon Jones, in this latest situation, he's with the girl, right? So stop all that, oh, Jones is gay, Jones is gay. Cut all that out. Jones has never been gay, and he clearly loves women. But let's continue. Let's go back into it. And I'm not saying I agree with some of the things he's done in his career, but I don't like this smear campaign people are trying to do on Jones, saying that he wasn't that great of a fighter. You don't have to like somebody or agree with somebody to acknowledge the things they've done in their career and what they have achieved. Yeah, you don't agree with him crashing into the lady and running away. I don't agree with that either. But don't call him gay. You know what I'm saying? He might joke around and do things, but he's not a gay dude. He clearly has multiple kids. And clearly he's had multiple situations where he's had women in the car and been at strip clubs and XYZ. Let's continue. As Jon's lawyer, I'm stunned by the Albuquerque Police Department decision to charge him in this new case. Dodd said in a statement, in thousands of cases I've handled in my career, I've never seen a case as strange as and unwarranted as this one. So if you guys remember, at one point Jones was like driving around in his Corvette, and a police officer was claiming that he was drag racing, right? So some of these dudes do have it out for Jones. I don't know all the details of the shit, but some of these officers do have a hard on for Jones. And some of these dudes are the same. Some of the guys who hate on Jones in the comments are the same guys who are the officers pulling him over and have a hard on to get him locked up. Guaranteed. Let's continue. Jones was not driving that night. He wasn't in the car. Now, that's a valid point. Oh, let me see. Hold on. Jones was not driving that night, and he wasn't in the car. Okay, let's continue. I'm not sure. Let's continue. It appears that an intoxicated woman used a false allegation against Jon to avoid being arrested for DWI, and the police fell for it. Based on the criminal complaint, it looks like they went so far as to seek a warrant for Jon's cell phone records while conducting a misdemeanor traffic investigation. I've never heard of such a thing. It continues. It is truly unbelievable that the police would waste this amount of resources on such a case. They got a hard on for Jones. They literally got a hard on for Jones. They don't like it when they see a dude who's the UFC world champion whooping people's ass, making millions of dollars, regardless of some of the stuff he's done in his life. We've all made mistakes. They don't like that. They really don't. You've seen that when Tank the boxer had an issue and the police came to his place and they were like doing everything they could to get him out of there. They did not like that. Like if you're a police officer and you have a hard job, a very hard job, you pull up to Jon Jones's crib, multi-million-dollar crib, and you're like, you know what? Fuck this guy. Why is he making all this money? I don't like that. So that's what I seen whenever Tank got into his issue with one of his baby mamas, who it was a whole big issue, and she was like trying to take stuff and break his stuff, and the cops had a hard on for him. They were trying to get him out of there. Let's continue. It is truly unbelievable that police would waste this amount of resources on such a case. The only thing that I can think of that the police were targeting Jones for improper purposes. We will get to the bottom of this and make sure these baseless cases dismissed. Now, if Jones actually did do something, he has a hell of a lawyer. That's a great lawyer right there. That's a great lawyer. I think Jones didn't do anything. But you guys know I'm a Jon Jones supporter. In a report obtained by MMA Fighting from Albuquerque police, Jones told authorities that the woman involved in the accident was at his house earlier in the evening where they consumed alcoholic beverages together, and she eventually left his residence while intoxicated and later called to inform him about the accident. Hey, I can see that happening, but I'm laughing because it's funny to me because you got guys like Jones, McGregor, like they have their wife or their long-term partner. Hey, maybe they agree with it. This is what you signed up for. You knew you were getting involved with the pro fighter, with the alpha male type of dude. So, hey, Jones is out there. He has a chick at his house. They're drinking. Whatever happened, but I honestly could see, like, if he was with a girl and she's at his house hanging out, whatever, drinking, they're partying, having a good time. She leaves, gets into an accident. I could see her blaming it on Jones because she doesn't want to get the charge. I could see that easily. Or her being like, or trying to use Jones as a way to maybe make the police let her off the thing. I see shit like that all the time when I do private security. All right, let's see. Oh shit. The woman involved in the accident claims that she expressed reservations about drinking with Jones, citing previous incidents where she alleged he forced her to drive home while intoxicated. The woman also claimed that Jones assured her that wouldn't be the case this time, and they consumed alcohol and mushrooms together. Oh, bro, it's partying. Alcohol and mushrooms. A restroom incident occurred that allegedly required the woman to remove her pants while the intention of Jones driving her home to retrieve new clothing. Like she peed herself or something. She told police that the last person she remembers driving her vehicle prior to the incident was Jones, and claimed she had no other recollection of the evening's events. Police obtained Jones' phone records and his device and seen in the vicinity of the location where the woman claimed to be drinking with the UFC prior to the incident. Police stated that there was a gap in records from Jones' phone from 10:51 p.m. to 2:11 a.m., at which point his device had been seen in the area in northwestern Albuquerque. At 2:11 a.m., police say the woman attempted to call Jones, but he didn't answer. Between the hours of 2:17 a.m. and 11:34 a.m. the following morning, Jones called the woman 13 times. Police state that the body cam footage also shows Jones texting the woman allegedly or repeatedly alongside his phone calls, but details of messages were not available from phone records. The gap in time from Jones' phone records coincides with the time the traffic accident police stated based on evidence available and cannot be excluded from the scene. So charges were filed against him. Jones' next court hearing is scheduled for July 24th. This latest criminal complaint against Jones was revealed just after UFC CEO Dana White announced he was retiring from the sport, relinquishing his heavyweight title after deciding against a potential fight against interim champion Tom Aspinall. So some people are theorizing that's why Jones actually relinquished the title. Hey, we don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. There's a lot of shenanigans that go on. All I know is Jones is probably going to come back to the game at some point. Maybe he'll be gone for a couple years, but he'll come back to the game. It's unfortunate that we never got to see Jones versus Silva, Jones versus Aspinall, or Jones versus Francis, or Jones versus Kane. But at the end of the day, when we watch MMA and we want champions, we want great fighters, this comes with it. You're going to have, these are wild guys. You know what I'm saying? Not every fighter, but when you want the greatest fighter of all time, this is what you're going to get. You know, this is what you're going to get. You want a guy like Conor McGregor, this is what you're going to get. But we don't know what happened, so reserve judgment. But all that talk about Jones being gay and this and that is ridiculous, and it just shows that how much that some of the fight fans hate Jon Jones, and some of it is warranted. You know, he hasn't had a perfect career, but I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. So reserve judgment. And yeah, me and you probably never drove a car and crashed into a lady and ran, but people make mistakes, you know. And with this latest thing, hopefully Jones doesn't do jail time. From what I'm reading, unless they have more evidence, I don't see him doing jail time over this. But this is what happens when we have high-level athletes. This is just a fact. So let me know what you guys think. If you think he's going to do time for this, how do you think this scenario played out? Jon Jones' biggest enemies and weaknesses seem to be women, cars, alcohol. Pretty much every situation he's been in has had those things. You know, he's just trying to have a good time, chill out, do his thing, and then he ends up in these situations. So hopefully he's good, but I could see him retiring because of this reason. I could really see him retiring because of this reason. All the stress that maybe the Aspinall fight was causing him, maybe that's part of the reason why this happened. We don't know, but all I know is Jon Jones, best fighter of all time, period. Regardless of everything. All right, hit that like button. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.